I live in Hawaii, so I really want to take you on a nice fishing scene, show you how blue the waters around me really are, regale you with my fishing stories. Our waters are teeming with fish. Unfortunately, I get very seasick. So the only fishing I'm going to be doing is here at City Square Market on Dillingham. My family would always affectionately refer to this place as the Filipino Chinatown. They sell much of the same stuff you'd find in Chinatown, but it caters to a more Filipino crowd. Oh, and it's air conditioned and has better parking too. All the different types of local fish straight from our waters. So colorful. I know the one I'm looking for is around here somewhere. There we go. This is uhu, also known as parrotfish, because of the parrot-like beak it has. While we're here, let's pick up some vegetables to go with it, fresh from local farmers. Okay, you see that sign? It says Bok Choy, right? So I grabbed it, and only later realized that what I had in my hand was choy sum, not bok choy. I'm also gonna need lots of green onions, or scallion. Luckily, the green onion in my yard has been working overtime, so I've got a fresh bumper crop. So we could just cut the green onion into small little squares, but if you cut it at an angle like this, it just makes it look so much more pretty. This is an impressive dish, so you want to make the extra effort. I'm also separating the thicker stalks from the thinner ones, so the thicker ones can cook longer. We're also going to need a big hunk of fresh ginger for this. Anthony Bourdain famously got skunked every time he went fishing, to the point where he had to resort to frozen stunt fish. Just peel it and then slice it into thin little matchsticks. The last time I went fishing, my wife actually caught 2.5 fish. Half a fish, you say? Well, yeah. As she was reeling it in, a shark came up and chomped off the back half. True story. When my wife was hauling in her 2.5 fish, I was busy hurling up the bananas I had for breakfast. We're also going to cut a few thin slices to use for the sauce later. How can you tell if a fish is fresh? Look at its eyes. They should be very clear and not cloudy. This one is a beauty. We're going to cut a few slits in the fish so it will cook more evenly. Then we're going to stuff the fish with those ginger matchsticks and the thicker green onion. Fish is such an important part to Chinese culture that you pretty much find a big whole fish at every special occasion, and especially at Chinese New Year. Why? Well, a big part is the symbolism. The word for fish in Chinese is yu. It's also a homonym for the word for abundance, also yu. So you always want to have a fish so that you will always have things in abundance. There's even a saying, 年年有余, or let there be abundance every year. After stuffing the fish, we're gonna fill it up with some xiu hing jiao, or Chinese rice wine. Then we're gonna let it soak in for a few hours. The wine kills off that fishy stench, what in Chinese we call sang mei. In Hawaii, we call this Chinese parsley, though I understand on the mainland it's called cilantro. Just chop it up a little so that it releases its aroma. Now we're going to take our fish and top it with some of the thinner green onion and the Chinese parsley. But you should save a little bit of each to top it again at the end, like a fresh garnish. My mom bought me this beautiful steamer that actually fits a whole fish. So we're gonna steam our fish for about 40 minutes. Simple, right? While it steams, we're gonna make our vegetable. The prep is also pretty simple. Just wash your bok choy, in this case choy sum. I'm also going to use some冬菇mushrooms, also known by their Japanese name Shiitake. Since I've got dried ones, you just want to soak them in water to rehydrate them. Take your vegetable and parboil them for exactly 1 timed minute. Chinese vegetables are very delicate. You don't want them to be raw and have that raw green taste, but you don't want to overcook them or they'll get too soft and mushy. 1 timed minute leaves them exactly right, crisp and fresh. Now pour off most of that water, leaving just a shallow amount to stew our mushrooms in. We're going to season with a 1/4 cup of siyao or soy sauce, and a spoon of haoyao or oyster sauce. Okay, now you're gonna see my second big mistake of the night. You want to thicken this gravy up just a little with some cornstarch. But whatever you do, do not add the cornstarch directly into the pot like I'm doing. I was rushing and I thought I had enough liquid that I could get away with adding it directly. Do not do that or you will get little globs of cornstarch that are nearly impossible to break up. Make sure you dissolve the cornstarch in a cup of hot water to make a cornstarch slurry, and then strain the slurry to add it to the pot to thicken it to your desired consistency. Don't do what I did. Okay, now for the sauce for the fish. Start with some mayao or sesame oil. Remember those thin slices of ginger we cut earlier? Fry those in the oil for a bit. Then you're going to add a spoonful of haoyao, oyster sauce, then siyao, soy sauce, in equal proportion to the mayao. The mayao, siyao, haoyao combination is basically the holy trinity of Cantonese sauces, with the ginger being like the Pope. Be careful when it comes to plating the fish so it doesn't fall apart. Now my third big mistake of the night. I was rushing and forgot to top it with that extra green onion and Chinese parsley we set aside before pouring the hot oil over everything. And that's it! Classic Chinese steamed fish, in this case uhu or parrotfish, and bok choy with mushrooms, or in this case choy sum with mushrooms. Even with my mistakes, this is still gonna be delicious. Good steamed fish, the way my mom taught me to make it, may be one of the most classic universal Chinese dishes, served all over the world. Of course, this can be made with pretty much any type of fish, But to me, my absolute favorite fish to do this with is uhu. The texture of the parrotfish is just so smooth. In Chinese, we would describe it as hou wat, which translates to very slippery, which is kind of weird in English, but in Chinese, it's the highest praise you can give to a fish. Those mushrooms soaked up all that sauce like a sponge, so biting into them is actually juicy. Each bite is bursting with mushroom juice. The choy sum doesn't have the slightly bitter edge that I was hoping to get from the bok choy to contrast the fish, but it's nice and tender. Okay, another bit of Chinese culture. Once you've eaten the top half of the fish, you never turn it over to get to the bottom half. Chinese believe it's like overturning your boat. Instead, if your fish is cooked well, you should be able to lift the bones right off. For some people, having the whole fish, including the head staring at you, might be a little off-putting. But any Chinese person knows that the very best part of the fish are in the head. On parrotfish especially, the skin is so soft and smooth, it's unctuous. Right on the top of its head, there's this little ridge with some of the most tender, most delicious meat on the fish. But any Chinese person knows the very best bite on the whole fish is the meat in the soft little cheeks. And the eyeballs of the fish are like delicious little cups of fish jelly. But every part of this fish is an absolute Chinese classic, the Chinese equivalent of a Thanksgiving turkey.